Hey guys, it's me again, ZMac, your friendly neighborhood human mage. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance you've been playing classic WoW and maybe some other MMORPGs for most of your lives, and you'd probably categorize yourself as somewhat of an MMO expert. But what if I told you you've been lied to, that everything you think you know about MMORPGs is wrong? What if I told you that it's not actually about leveling your character or acquiring the best loot in the game or epic dungeon runs with your friends, but actually it's about something more, like dancing with bears in the Darkshire Inn and turning yourself into a bush, or finding really hot female NPCs stuck in the floorboards and becoming a pirate in search of booty. Not that kind of booty. What if I was to tell you that? I'm not actually telling you that, I'm just asking the question because, well, I needed to come up with a creative way to give you guys a little sneak peek of the video, so yeah, that's just some of the stuff to look forward to. Anyways, alright, let's go find some booty. Man, what a strange dream I just had. I dreamed that I was running around Azeroth as a part of the Horde. Can you imagine? Me, an orc, and a warrior at that? I know, it sounds insane, but it just felt so real. Anyways, throughout my time here in Azeroth, I have gotten to do a lot of different things. Wandered through the trees of the Elwyn Forest, took down the leader of the Defias Brotherhood, became best friends with Guard Parker in Lakeshire, aided my ex-brother-in-law with the total annihilation of the town of Darkshire. Ah yes, we've had quite the adventure so far, but there's still one thing I've yet to do, and it's been eating at the back of my mind lately. So today, we're going to make this dream a reality. Today, we're going to prison. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to jail in Classic WoW. Now I just need to find one of these guards that I can kill. No, just kidding. Basically, here's what happened. I was running around Stormwind working on a really fun quest line that we're not going to get into right now, but I ran into this lady, Nikova Rascal, who said to me,
"Bitterness flows through my veins like a cold river. My grandson, Mac, he was such a good boy."
No way, you're not going to believe this. My name is Z-Mac. Your grandson and I have almost identical names. Small world, huh?
Yeah. Can I get back to my story?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Please continue.
A mere 14 years old, when the army was sent off to the front, Mac took up arms to defend the city.
Wait, seriously? When I was 14, I could barely carry my backpack, let alone a sword and full suit of armor.
Do you always interrupt people like this when they're trying to speak? He was a guard in the stockade where the Defias gang is locked up. Mac reprimanded some of the prisoners for tearing their wool blankets to make scarves, a symbol of their gang. For that, Mac was stabbed in the back.
Oh, dang. Sorry to hear that.
I want revenge. Bring me 10 of their precious wool bandanas. They are the color of blood.
Now, of course, given my history with the Defias Brotherhood, Nikova and I share a mutual hatred for this band of vagabonds. I can't even imagine what I would do if I had a son that was killed by these jokers. So I gladly accept the quest. When I check my quest log, I realize that it's actually a dungeon quest. And not only that, but I have 5 dungeon quests, all of them pertaining to the stockade. Now, I'm not sure exactly when or how this happened. Well, I do actually. It's because whenever I visit different zones, I tend to just pick up all the quests in the area, even if it doesn't necessarily pertain to what I'm doing. But in this circumstance, it actually works out in my favor. I'll be able to knock out 5 different quests with the completion of a single dungeon, which is going to be a massive leveling XP boost. So I head over to the Stormwind Stockade, open the dungeon group finder. Is it true this wasn't in the original Classic WoW? And to my delight, there's already a 4-person group just waiting for a single DPS. So I carefully and meticulously craft a well thought out message to try and convince them to let me join. And would you look at that? It's my lucky day. So we head through the entrance, and can someone tell me what this big orange circle is hovering over my head? Now you might be wondering, why am I even down here? Good question. And if you weren't wondering that, too bad, because I'm going to tell you anyway. Essentially, the Stormwind Stockade serves as the city's high security prison, housing the most dangerous criminals, insurgents, and traitors. And the inmates found here are not just confined to those found within the limits of the Stormwind Castle walls. No, many of them have been transferred here from the surrounding regions. For example, a ruthless orc named Targor the Dread, the supreme executioner serving under Gathelzog in Lakeshire, or the infamous grave robber from Deskwood, Dextrin Ward, who was caught selling dead bodies to Morbent Fell, and a handful of other named enemies as well. All of them have been locked up and securely held down here. That is, until the riots began. Basil Thread, the lieutenant of Edwin Van Cleef and a renowned leader of the Defias Brotherhood, had also been incarcerated in the stockades until one day he orchestrated an insurrection against the Stormwind Guards, unleashing chaos in the depths of the prison and posing a threat to the citizens of Stormwind roaming on the streets above. Our task is simple: quell the uprising, defeat these named foes, and make safe the city. Now, it's a decent little story for the players that actually take the time to puzzle it all together and make sense of it, which, let's be real, is probably not very many. But truthfully, it's not my favorite dungeon experience. It feels very linear, and there's not much depth to it. You pretty much just run from cell to cell, clearing mobs and killing the named bosses along the way. It doesn't take our group very long at all to reach Basil Thread, at which time, after defeating him, you guessed it, I chop off his head. Funny story, since I was using Blizzard, I hadn't actually locked on to any of the target mobs, and I didn't even realize we killed him until I went to loot the corpse. Oh, I also collected the head of Targor the Dread, and sawed off the hand of Dexter Ward as well. My bags are getting pretty heavy over here. After finishing off the rest of the thugs, we make our way back towards the entrance, head up the stairs, and there you have it. Mission accomplished. So now I have two options. I can either hand over these tokens of victory to the respective quest NPCs to receive some XP and a lousy handful of silver, or I can sell the body parts on the black market for an obscene amount of gold. Alright, I'll just go turn them in. Either you bring me Thread's head or I'll take yours, understand? Oh there, buddy. Take it easy. There's no need to get violent. I've got it right here for you. I'm telling you, man. The people of Azeroth got a weird fetish for decapitation. Kinda freaks me out a little bit. Without Thread to lead them, hopefully the riots will be more controllable. We shall see. I must say, after a half hour, I hardly expected you to come out, but it seems I misjudged you. No worries, man. It's not the first time, and it probably won't be the last. I'd guess then that you didn't get much useful information out of him, but I know a thing or two that might be of interest to you about Thread's activities. Oh, really? Tell me more. During the first years of Thread's imprisonment, he never had any visitors. Not surprising, honestly. He seemed like kind of an a-hole. I figured that he was no longer of use to the Brotherhood, so they abandoned him. Anyway, a few months ago, that all changed. He started to get regular visits. Once, maybe twice a week. It was a strange man, the quiet type. Oh gosh, it's the quiet ones you have to look out for. Precisely. I had my suspicions, but all his papers checked out. His documents claimed his name was Malik. Here's his description. I don't think he'll be coming to visit Thread anymore. Bring the sealed description of Thread's visitor to Barros Alexton. Aye aye, Captain. Warden. Alright, let's go turn in these bandanas, give a friendly wave to Mr. Big Dog Mage here, take a griffin to Lakeshire, speak with Guard Burton, and hand over the dead orc's head. You've done well, Z-Mac. Sometimes the truest justice can only be found outside the courtroom and beyond the clouded vision of politics. I like this guy. A true vigilante. Head over to good old Darkshire, speak with Councilman Millstipe to turn in this last quest. So long as a molester of the dead like Dextrin Ward is permitted to live, justice stands betrayed. You're telling me. Have you heard of Stalvin Mistmantle? Guy's a creep. I bet those two were best buds back in the day. So I hand him Dexter Ward's hand, complete the quest, and time for a little snack break. As always, a huge shout out to my Patreons for supporting the channel throughout these creative works. I am truly honored and greatly appreciate your generosity. If you'd like to see how you can help me achieve my dreams and become a part of the Patreon family, be sure to click on the link listed on my channel page. Also, if you want to get more plugged into the community, check out the ZMAC community Discord server. Now, unbeknownst to me, while I was sitting there nibbling on my munchies, I was about to have the most epic encounter of my life. In walks a night elf named Artio, and she sits in the chair right across from me. Of course, at first, I don't think anything of it. People come into taverns all the time to kick back, relax, grab a drink, whatever. But then she waves at me. So I try to wave back, but of course, I'm an idiot and accidentally say the word wave instead of actually using the emote. Okay, there we go. After waving back to her, she doesn't respond. She simply sits there quietly, staring off into space. Assuming that the interaction is past, I give my attention back to my snack when, out of nowhere, Ardeo leaps out of the chair, transforms herself into a bear, at which point I'm thinking, holy crap, I guess I'm about to be eaten by a bear. But no, she climbs onto the railing and starts busting out some sweet dance moves. Relieved, I'm suddenly overwhelmed by the urge to join in on the fun. There's no way I'm missing out on a spontaneous dance party. So I get up and break out the most legendary style of dancing known to mankind, disco. Turns out Ardeo just wanted to stop by and say congrats on hitting level 30. I tell her thanks and we chat for a minute, but then she goes on her merry way. And that is the story of how I danced with a bear in Darkshire Inn. Now, after taking a quick peek at my leveling meter, I noticed that I am extremely close to hitting 31. Since I'm in the area and familiar with a couple good spots to get some quick XP, I make a stop at the Rotting Orchard to harass some of these unlucky worgans and reach level 31. Nice. Now, you probably didn't know this, but 007 is one of my favorite spy movie series of all time, and I'm happy to say that players can actually roleplay as James Bond right here in Stormwind City. Here, I'll show you. So we got this quest called The Curious Visitor from the Warden, right? Ooh, so mysterious. My first task is to find someone named Barros Alexson, so the agency sends me someone named Horu to arrange the meetup. Of course, we all know the #1 rule for spy work: never leave a trail. And Horu here is a seasoned vet. She first leads me to a decoy building, just in case we're being followed, but plays it off as if she accidentally forgot where Barros is located. Very clever. I like this one. After a few twists and turns, we wind up at the meeting point. And to no one's surprise, just as in all 007 movies, it's clear that the girl has already fallen hopelessly in love with me, as evidenced by all of the heart emotes in her messages. I mean, can you blame her? But now is not the time for games. I'm on a mission. If you remember from earlier, the curious visitor that we're looking for goes by the alias of Malik. And to my disappointment, as well as his mother's, Barros has no information for me about the whereabouts of this mysterious figure. But he does point me in the direction of someone that might be able to help me, Matthias Shaw. Because apparently he has his thumb on most of the shady or underhanded dealings of the city. So in the end, Barros isn't completely useless after all. And I'm happy to say that his mother had a change of heart and decided that she would reclaim him as her son once again. Now thankfully, I've had some dealings with Matthias in the past, so I know exactly where to find him. And when I do, he has some very important information to share. What's this? Yes, I think I do know who this man is, but his name is not Malik. Assassins wear many names and many masks, discarding them as they lose their usefulness. Oh, so we're dealing with an assassin, eh? Now we're getting somewhere. Another alias known to be used by this man is Marzone, though even that is surely not his true name. Regardless, he is an assassin and I know a good deal about him. Marzone is currently under the employ of Lord Gregor Leskovar, a lord of shady reputation, even given the corruption of the nobility of Stormwind. So I've heard. I mean, truthfully, in some ways, it's kind of the noble's fault for the birth of the Defiance Brotherhood. Indeed, but be careful when throwing those types of words around. You never know who might be listening. Oh, I gotcha. Like the trees of the forest and stuff? What? No, like the nobles have spies and other people working for them. Oh, right. That Marzone would be contacting a member of the Defiance and have ties to Leskovar. Having killed Van Cleef and Thread, it would be hard to see Leskovar brought to proper justice, as your evidence is nothing without their testimonies. That's not even considering the fact that Leskovar is a noble and well-connected. It effectively makes him above the law. You'll need other help. I loathe to do so, but there is someone I know that will aid us. You'll find Trius in the trade district of the city. Oh yeah, the master of cheese. I remember him. You know, for a cheese connoisseur, he sure gets involved in other people's affairs. When I arrive to speak with him, he says, "You're kidding. Shaw wants my help again? Of all the nerve. The Defiance Brotherhood, you say? Well, you're certainly the bearer of wonderful news, aren't you? Next, you're going to tell me that Deathwing is still alive and attacking the city." Yeah, I don't actually know who that is. All right, tell me everything from the beginning, and don't leave out something you think might not be important. I need to know it all. So I quickly recount for him all of the events that have recently transpired. An interesting tale, and not one to be taken lightly. Yeah, I can help you, but what you need to do is divvy out a form of justice that's not legal, if you're to see this through to the end. Leskovar and Marzone need to be dealt with, and swiftly. Do you think you're capable of such a thing? Oh, I've pretty much been killing everything in sight since the day I stepped foot in Northshire. We're talking thousands of dead bodies in my wake, so yeah, shouldn't be a problem. I guess I don't really have much of a moral compass at this point, which is slightly concerning. Then make haste to the castle and find an old friend of mine, a gnome named Tyrion. He's been watching Leskovar now for a couple weeks. He should be able to help you end this. Oh, I love gnomes. Gnomes are my favorite. Does anyone else find it ironic that the short gnome character's name is Tyrion? As in Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones? Alright, that might be a bit of a stretch, but the first book was actually written in 1996, so it is possible that some of the Blizzard devs were George R.R. Martin fans. Okay, I have to go find this guy in Stormwind Castle. Now, if I was an undercover gnome, where would I be? Not over here. Ooh, the Royal Gallery. King Lane I of the House of Rin, Liege Lord of Stormwind and Defender of Azeroth. Hey, look guys, it's me. Bruh, I completely messed up the stash. Alright, not in there either. Nope, not over here. I haven't seen anything pop up on my minimap. Am I even in the right place? This is the Stormwind Castle, right? Well, the map says the Stormwind Keep. Is that different from the castle? I think this might require some higher level intel. Okay, no, yeah, I was right. So where is this little gnome creature? Let's ask this Ellie Cat person. Are you at the keep? Oh, right here. What does she mean, right? Oh my gosh, seriously? The gnome's invisible. How the heck is someone supposed to figure that out? It's bugged. Oh, it's because Onyxia just dropped. Gotta wait until the NPCs fix themselves. Gotcha. Okay, I was going to say, there we go. What the? Don't sneak up on me like that, and keep your voice down. I haven't said anything. What in the name of the shadow are you doing sneaking up on me for? Can't you see I'm busy, you daft fool? Okay, I'm sorry. In my defense, you're the one that's invisible. I pretty much had to run into you to even figure out that you were there. What are you doing over here? What do you mean, what am I doing? I'm waiting for the next dark portal to open. What the heck do you think I'm doing? Speak your piece and be off with you, before the guards notice the two of us hiding in the bushes together. I have a reputation to maintain. You've never heard of me, huh? The name's Mac. Z-Mac. Elling Trias sent me to find you. He mentioned something about killing Leskovar and Marzone. Ah, Trias wants the timetable pushed up some, huh? Yeah, I guess. Okay, we can do that, but I'm not ready. And know this, I'm doing the hard part, but you're the one that's going to get his hands dirty, understand? Understood? Good. Okay, I'll need you to get me a few things before I can put my plan into effect. I got the perfect disguise that'll get Spybot past those guards. Wait, did you just say a Spybot? That's so cool. Can I get one of those? No. Now bring me some silk and a couple apples. The silk's up to you, but Clara's little farm right outside the city has the perfect sized apples. All right, I'm on it. I actually think I know where that is. Let's make our way towards the front gates, and yep, here she is, Clara Charles. Oh dear, Clara, it appears that you're stuck in the floorboards. How did that happen? Oh, this? No, I'm not stuck. I have a superpower that allows me to walk through inanimate objects. Here, check it out. See? Wow, that's incredible. Hey, by the way, do you mind if I borrow a couple of these apples here? Sure, go right ahead. Awesome, thank you. What a peculiar woman. I did kind of like her voice though. So I head back to Tyrion, and before handing over the silk cloth and apples, he tells me, I've been watching Leskovar for a couple weeks now. Trias has never trusted him, but we didn't suspect he was involved in anything to do with the Defias Brotherhood. We were following leads that tied him to the Twilight's hammer, whatever that means. Either way, he's become more dangerous than this city can deal with, and that's where we come in. Have you got those items? Yes, sir. Here you go. These will do nicely, Z-Mac. Great job. I have the rest of the gear I'll need in my pack. Thank the light, I just got a tailor friend of mine to make me a silk bag. I was running out of room carrying all my gear around. Oh my gosh, tell me about it. Before Spybot heads in, let's get the details set so you know what you have to do. Okay, I'm listening. After I put on Spybot's disguise, he'll head in to talk to Leskovar. The guards should let him pass no problem. While you are getting materials for me, I took care of informing Marzone that it was time for him and Leskovar to meet again. I even dropped some false information. Brilliant. So what's my cue? Leskovar will dismiss his guards and wait for Marzone out here in the garden. After you catch wind of talk about the Defias, make your move. You need to kill them both before the guards return. When you're done, speak to Trias. Excellent. I feel like a real-life 007. Let's do it. All right, pause. You guys do realize why Tyrion wanted me to acquire Clara's 2 perfectly sized apples and what they were used for, right? That is absolutely hilarious. Anyways, I just had to point that out. Okay, back to the story. Wait here? Heck no. I'm going in for a closer look. Don't worry, I know what to do. I've been dreaming of this day my whole life. Time to use some stealth. Let's keep a safe distance and use these pillars for cover. Okay, perfect. Spybot and his perfectly sized apples just informed Leskovar that his guest has arrived. Oh shoot, walking around the bookcase. I have to time this just right. Okay, we're good. I don't think he saw me. Guys, I found the perfect hiding spot. They'll never see me coming. I am one with the bush. This kind of reminds me of my Fortnite days. Could turn yourself into a bush and just sit there waiting for an unsuspecting player to run by before you pop out, one-shot them, and take all of their loot. I mean, I didn't play Fortnite. Oh, there he is. There he is. I think I just have to wait for them to finish their conversation. Okay, now for Frodo. I mean, for the Alliance. Die, traitor scum. Crap. I should have known those were just perfectly sized apples. All right, mission accomplished. Let's go turn in the quest to Elling Trias. So it's done. Good. Thank you greatly for your discretion, Zemak. You've proven worthy on more than one account. I'll be sure to keep my eyes on you and your progress within the Alliance. Be sure to keep your nose clean. Now we both know that I can't promise that. Zemak, I like you. He then tells me to check in with Matthias Shaw since he'll likely want to congratulate me for my efforts. So back to Old Town we go. He's dead then. Yes, sir, I did the deed myself. Your justice was swift, Zemak. I pray to the light that I never become your quarry. I mean no criticism, how could I, being the master of all assassins? But in truth, you have done the people of Stormwind a great service, and for that, I thank you. I was just doing my civil duties, sir. That, and, well, I've always wanted to know what it's like to become a spy. And I gotta say, it was pretty awesome. He then tells me to go speak with Barros Alexson, but also to be careful and to not let anyone else know that Leskovar died by my hand. Oh, and he ends with, as far as Trias goes, well, speak to no one of him, ever, if you can help it. Once I meet back up with Barros, he's very pleased to hear that the mission was a success. Along with his report, he managed to schedule me for an audience with, you guys aren't going to believe this, the king himself. And he says that the audience is scheduled soon, so I'd better hurry. My goodness, I did not know this was going to be happening today. I would have put on something a little more appropriate, but apparently there's no time. I wonder if he's going to officially hire me on as a Stormwind MI6 agent. So I head back to the castle and, oh man, it's not actually the king. It's Lady Katrana Prester.
Take this, mage, as a token of the king's appreciation. I am only sorry he cannot present it to you himself, but he is away on a diplomatic mission and shall not return for some time.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of bummed about that, but at least I got a new ring. Check this out. The Seal of Rin. Dang, that is nice. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Psych, I'm not doing that. No, actually, I have something else in mind. But before we get to that, I want to finish up this old quest that's been sitting in my pocket. I just need to grab this spellbook from Lakeshire real quick, and we'll hand it over to High Sorcerer Andromath. There we go. Ooh, another quest to upgrade my mage's robe. I guess we'll do this one as well. Wait, you're not going to send me across the world just to find out that the robe isn't actually worth it, are you? Oh good, this one isn't too far. Looks like I just need to acquire a bunch of silk from some spiders in Duskwood. Now I'll spare you the details, but what should have been a quick little side errand turned into a long drawn out ordeal because I kinda sort of forgot where to find the Carrion Recluse spiders. Yep, I ran all over Duskwood searching for them. It took me almost 30 minutes before I finally stumbled into them at the Ravenhill Cemetery. To make matters worse, there weren't that many of them, their spawn times were pretty long, and there were quite a few players in the area killing mobs as fast as they could spawn. But eventually, I did manage to acquire the 8 out of 8 spider silk. So I head back to Stormwind, hand over the materials. I love how when I hand over the silk, the robe merchant actually walks around the store as if she's working on the robe. That's pretty cool. And there we go, the Astral Knot robe. I'm happy to say that this time around, the mage robe was actually a pretty nice gear upgrade. Along with plus 10 armor, it also boosted both my spirit and stamina by 6. Not to mention, this robe is stylish. I like it. Okay, I pick up another side quest, restock on my runes of teleportation. Definitely don't want to run out of those. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. As most of you know, I've been spending a lot of time in Duskwood lately, but now that I'm level 30 and it seems like I've completed most of the quests that I could find here in this haunted zone, I'd like to move on to a new region, one that is more appropriate for a level 30 mage. It's time to venture out into the unknown. It's time to find some booty. So first things first, let's take a look at the map to see what my options are. All right, we've got the Deadwind Pass directly to the east, and then Stranglethorn Vale to the south. I also have some other quests that would require me to travel to places such as the Wetlands or the Arathi Highlands, but for now, I think I'll just stay in the area. All right, I've made my decision, and truthfully, there was no real decision to be made. The moment that I saw the words Deadwind Pass, I knew that was exactly where I wanted to go. What can I say? The thrill of danger calls to me. Guys, I'm feeling really good about this decision. What could possibly go wrong? The Dead Man's Crossing. That's not ominous at all. Oh, wow. There's actually some dead corpses hanging from this tree. But there doesn't seem to be much of anything in this zone, besides a few of these vultures flying around. I guess I'll just run straight through to this next zone. The Swamp of Sorrows. This place looks interesting. Oh, there's someone. Ooh, shoot. A level 37 orc. Is this a horde zone or something? Now, the smart thing to do in this situation would be to hightail it out of here, but let's face it, I'm not exactly the sharpest cookie of the bunch. I don't know what compelled me to start attacking that orc. I know full well that the classic WoW gods frown upon players fighting higher level mobs with red numbers next to their profile pictures, but for some reason, I do it anyway. He pretty much resists everything that I throw at him, and just as you would expect, I end up dying. During the fight, one of these new player tips popped up. It's been a while since I've seen that, basically telling me that I was engaging in PvP combat, which I'm a little confused about, because that was definitely an orc enemy mob, not an actual player. But maybe this zone is considered a PvP area, so any sort of fighting that happens is registered as such. I don't really know. I'm then respawned by the Spirit Healer, and oh wow, I am right smack dab in the middle of this zone. I'm gonna resurrect really quick and see if there's anything for me to explore. Oh look, there's a person, Zari. Excuse me, madam, where am I exactly? She doesn't seem interested in talking. Yep, she just hopped in her mount and there she goes. Oh, wait, nope, she's attacking me. I'm so confused right now. Isn't she a human? I'm just gonna stand here. Nice. And off she goes. Well, there you have it, folks. My first glimpse of PvP in Classic WoW. I mean, I honestly can't believe that a person, after a new player walks up to you and asks for help, would just turn around and kill them. Like, why? For what purpose? It didn't seem like they gained anything from that. Anyways, alright, I've seen enough here. I clearly have no idea what's going on, so let's just call it quits and Hearthstone back to Darkshire. No worries, when one door closes, another one opens. My search for booty continues. We're headed south into Stranglethorn Vale. Okay, here we go. Cross this bridge. Discovered Stranglethorn Vale. Very nice. Kind of reminds me of Lakeshire. Oh, but there's like tropical palm trees. Interesting. Looks like we've got some sort of rebel camp up ahead. Hopefully friendly inhabitants this time. Ahoy there, Sergeant Yoha. Please don't kill me. Kill you? Why would I kill you? Oh, no reason. She then jumps right into a tale about a man named Colonel Curzon that's a brilliant tactician and outnumbers us 10 to 1. She wants me to enter his camp to the east and kill all of his men. Whoa, okay. First off, who is Colonel Curzon? Second, whatever is going on, it sounds like you're pretty much screwed. 10 to 1 is really, really, really bad odds, like really bad. And third, I don't even know you. We literally just met and you're asking me to go and slaughter a bunch of men for you? Alright, fair enough. Looks like I need to kill 15 Curzon jungle fighters. Ooh, jungle fighters. I've never been to the jungle before. That sounds like fun. Oh, and she also wants me to retrieve for her some jungle remedies and venom fern extract. Apparently, this Curzon fellow also has a superior form of healing support for his army that she needs me to help neutralize. I don't know who you are, I don't know who this colonel guy is, but you can count on me. Now, which way to go? It kind of looks like there's a path leading this way. Nope, that's a dead end. Oh wow, I take it back. It's not like Lakeshire at all. Stranglethorn Vale is definitely a jungle-themed zone. There's lush, dense vegetation everywhere, palm trees, hanging vines, and there's a bunch of panthers stalking around. As long as I don't have to kill Bagheera, I'll be fine. The quest log says the Curzon compound is to the east, so that's exactly where I'm headed. Thankfully, it doesn't take me long to find it. I'm able to acquire the venom fern extract right away, and oh my word, what happened here? It looks like some sort of massacre. It was at this moment that I stopped to ask myself, what am I even doing? It all started off as an innocent dream. I just wanted to reach level 60 and become a master of World of Warcraft. How did it come to this? Is the price of my ambitions really worth all this bloodshed? But then I remembered something that Sergeant Yoa said to me. Kill 15 Curzon jungle fighters. Oh, that's right. Now I remember. So I scoured the area looking for these jungle fighters so that I can burst them into flames with my fireballs. Let's be real, we've already come this far, so there's no point in growing a conscience now. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the last of the 15 Curzon jungle fighters. And you know what? Screw the rest of the jungle remedies. I don't really feel like collecting those right now. When I turn in the quest to Sergeant Yoha, she says, now that you've had a taste of the forces we're up against, do you still want to throw your lot in with us? No, I don't. I still don't even know who us is. Context, people. I need some more context. You know what I really want to do? I want to find that booty. And everyone knows who's best at finding booty. Pirates. So, what am I going to do? I am going to turn myself into a pirate. Oh yeah, baby. Now we're talking. We're ready to go hunting for some serious booty. Real quick, guys. What's a pirate's favorite letter? You think it'd be ARG, but it's actually the C. Okay, be honest. I know that I got all of you with that one. No, but seriously, if I got you with that one, you owe me a soda. For real though, I'm not kidding. All right, where the heck are we going? I really just want to explore the jungle a bit more. Ooh, check out these huge wooden rope bridges. There's a little dirt path here. I wonder where this goes. Discovered Gromgal Base Camp. Oh boy, you know what? I'm good. I think I've had enough interactions with orcs for one day. Let's see if there's anything if I head to this northern corner of the map. Okay, how is it that I've run so far into this unknown part of the map and nothing has been revealed to me? What the heck? Whoa, we got some raptor dinosaurs over here. All right, there we go. The ruins of Zulkunda. That finally revealed a little something on the map. I tell you what, man. Honestly, guys, I'm feeling a little bit leery about this zone and my current level. Most of the mobs I've run into are at least 2 or 3 levels higher than me right now. Level 33 tigers. Oh my gosh, a level 36 goblin. Yeah, there's no way I can fight any of these mobs. Guys, I don't know if I'm going to find any booty in this region. Honestly, I should probably turn back at this point, but I really want to reveal more of this map. Oh gosh, a level 39 troll mystic. I think this is the end, boys. Wait, maybe I can get away? No, an elite ogre. 2 of them. Dang it. Most people would probably call it quits at this point, but strangely enough, now I'm just even more determined to uncover the rest of the map. Resurrection sickness? Why, ZMAC? Why would you do that? Because I don't know. That was really stupid. Yeah, that was incredibly dumb of me. Oh gosh, bad kitty, bad. Oh, what's this over here? There's some massive serpent heads at the entrance of this place. Oh, never mind. More elite mob types. Man, this zone is perilous. Literally everywhere I turn, there's something that wants to kill me. Dang, there's gorillas? That's wild. I kind of feel bad killing gorillas though. Not sure why. Maybe the whole situation with Harambe. Okay, we've made it to the ruins of Zulmamwe. And oh my gosh, guys, there's some humans up ahead. Maybe they can help me out. Now this was no chance encounter, friends. No, the classic WoW gods placed these fellow adventurers along my path for one purpose. And as Marceline spoke, it all made sense. I realized exactly why I had been feeling such a strong force pulling me to the south. It was the booty, calling to me, beckoning me. Booty Bay, the promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey and booty. I was destined to reach this place, just as I was destined to run into these two travelers. Some might say it's pure luck, others mere coincidence, but I reject these claims, for there are no coincidences here in the world of Azeroth. Every path is guided, every meeting foretold, and the classic WoW gods will reveal all in due time. So after heeding these strangers' advice, I make my way back to the road where I was told that I will be safe, at least what I thought was the road. Turns out it was the wrong road. And if I had followed it, I surely would have met a grisly fate, the promise of booty slipping through my grasp. But it turns out these strangers I had run into were not mere humans. No, they were my guardian angels. After instructing me to head back to the road, they must have discerned how much of an idiot I was, because they followed me just to make sure I made it there safely. And with that, we exchanged some parting words before they galloped away on their mounts, disappearing into the hazy fog of the jungle, never to be seen again. As for me, I continued down the road, thoughts of Booty Bay drifting through my mind like the sea breeze that calls a ship home. And finally, I see it, the entrance. It appears as the mouth of an enormous shark with razor-sharp teeth, ready to engulf any traveler that would dare step inside. I, for one, am more than happy to be swallowed whole in order to see what awaits me on the other side. As I run through the cavern of wooden planks and dimly lit lanterns, I catch the first glimpse of my destination, Booty Bay, the coolest town that I've yet encountered during my entire time playing Classic WoW. It's a vibrant but slightly chaotic port town, built on the side of a cliff and directly over the water. It's a jumble of wooden walkways, rope bridges, angled platforms, and a little bit confusing to navigate, if I'm being honest. Although, I do love that you can hop from roof to roof, almost as if it was designed to be traversed in an unconventional manner. And as I make my way to the top of the town, I look out over the bay, and there I finally see it, the booty that I've been searching for. A reminder of what this journey is all about. One hell of a view, and a chance to take it all in. Level 60, the coveted number for all those that dare to embark on a journey in World of Warcraft Classic. Many have tried, most people have failed, and according to the developers, only 10% of characters created ever made it past level 10. That means there are millions of new characters out there stuck floating in cyberspace, waiting for someone to log back in and finish the job. And that's where they'll remain until the end of time, or until Blizzard shuts down their servers. So what is it that sets apart those that make it all the way to 60? What does it take to reach this iconic milestone? Is it dedication, perseverance, passion, a strange affection for prolonged suffering? Whatever it may be, I've made it my unwavering obsession to fulfill this one singular purpose. And just as Samwise Gamgee once said, I made a promise, Mr. Frodo, a promise, and I intend to keep it. But not all stories have a happy ending, and even the greatest of heroes are faced with challenges that they simply cannot overcome. In this video, I continue my journey to reach level 60, taking a little detour to visit the dwarven wetlands in the northern part of the kingdom, and coming face to face with the most unlikely of foes, one that has the power to put a stopping halt to my story. Is this the end for Zemak the Human Mage? Will our hero's epic tale be cut short? Or am I just trying to add some suspense to the intro so that you'll watch it all the way to the end? No, actually though, something pretty terrible happens, so yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. One of the great things about classic World of Warcraft is that it offers new players a massive open world free to be explored in whatever way they might choose. There's not a main story quest that guides players on a linear path throughout the world of Azeroth. No, it's up to you to decide what you want to do, where you want to go, and how you want to level up. You get to forge your own path. Sounds awesome, right? Well, it is. But with this freedom comes a few challenges as well, especially as you venture into some of the higher levels. Namely, having to ask yourself, what the heck am I doing? And where should I go from here? Ever since I hit level 30, these questions have been nagging at me. The initial progression from Elwyn Forest to Westfall to Lakeshire to Duskwood felt very natural. No one was holding my hand, it just sort of happened that way. And I'm really glad it did. But now, my path going forward feels a bit more hazy or uncertain. Yes, I've discovered and explored around the Stranglethorn Vale, which is definitely better than some of the alternatives, but as I mentioned before, a lot of the mobs here are way above my pay grade, and I'm still not sure if this is where I want to be. That being said, I'd like to check out some other regions of the map to see if maybe they'll be better suited for my particular level. Now, of course, this game has been out for over 20 years, and veteran players have completely mapped out every inch of this game. If I wanted to, I know that I could pull up a leveling guide or download an add-on to navigate me through it, but what would be the fun in that? I'm going to stick with my initial premise of avoiding guides and see what I can discover on my own. As always, a huge shout out to my Patreons for supporting the channel throughout these creative works. I am truly honored and greatly appreciate your generosity. More information on how you can support the channel at the end of this video. Now, before I get ahead of myself, the first thing that I'm going to do is return to the old Worgen Stomping Grounds to top off my XP bar and reach level 32. I'd really like to train my new abilities, if possible, before heading out on my adventure in search of a new zone. There might be a better option for doing this in Stranglethorn or maybe somewhere else, but for now, this is just what I know. It's quick, easy, and it works. There we go, level 32. Beautiful. Time to head back to Stormwind and visit Janaea to see if she has any ability upgrades for me. This glass of milk is tasty. What an absolute delight. I said, time to head back to Stormwind to see if Janaea has any ability upgrades for me. Oh, right. Sorry. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's go. Rank 3 Conjure Food. Ooh, and it's pumpernickel. How delicious. Fun fact, you might already know this, but pumpernickel bread is not actually made with pumpkins. I guess I just assumed because of the name that it had some form of pumpkin in it. Now I'm kind of interested to see what it tastes like in real life. Rank 3 Flame Strike, and that's pretty much it. As you can see, there are a bunch of abilities that I've read through and just don't really know if they'd be worth adding to my action bar at this point. At least, not yet. After dropping some stuff off at the bank, I decided to take a griffin over to Lakeshire. Why? Well, being a huge Lord of the Rings fan and all, there's a particular place that I've been meaning to check out for a while now. The Gates of Mordor. No, I just saw on the map that there was this region called the Burning Steppes connected to Lakeshire. And of course, the very first mob that I run into is an obsidian elemental with a skull on it. Meaning that if I don't get the heck out of here, I'm about to get squashed like a tiny little bug. I had a feeling it was going to be a dead end, but hey, it was worth a shot. No worries though, on to plan B. I have a couple quests directing me to a zone in the north called the Wetlands. Time to pay another visit to the dwarves. Man, I really love this snowy mountain biome. Makes me want to create a new dwarf character. Easy there, Z-Mac. Don't go getting any crazy ideas. Okay, we've made it to the city of Ironforge. The only real reason I wanted to come here is to pick up the Ironforge teleport. That will for sure come in handy and save me some travel time going forward. Next stop, Loch Madan. Thankfully, I've already made the long, slow trek across the winter wonderland that is Dun Moreau, so I'm able to just hop on a griffin, and before I even know it, I'm there. And now, it would appear the only way to get to the wetlands from here is by running there on foot. So, here we go. Wow, The devs really like incorporating these tunnels into the dwarven landscapes. Don't get me wrong, I like them, and it gives the different areas more of that unique racial themed feel. But yeah, from what I can remember, I don't think there's anything like that in the adjacent human zones. And here we are. I've made it. The wetlands. It's kind of a gloomy, flat span of terrain littered with small bodies of water throughout. Lakes, rivers, ponds. I would categorize it as more of a marsh than a swamp due to the fact that there's a scarcity of trees and it's more dominated by a variety of different grasses, reeds, cattails, and other herbaceous plants. There's also a dense purplish gray fog that hangs in the air, and I'm not gonna lie, this place is kind of a Debbie Downer. As I continue down the road, I eventually reach my destination, all the way on the far side of the zone, the Menethil Harbor. It's no Stormwind City, that's for sure. Just a small fortified harbor town with a single castle placed right in the center, surrounded by a handful of local businesses, including these stables. Don't worry, bud, we'll be together soon enough. But don't let its humble appearance fool you. This harbor serves a very important purpose for all members of the Alliance in Classic WoW, but we're not going to get into that right now. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I unlock the flight path so that I don't have to run across the entire world again just to get here. I then speak with the first quest NPC that I run into. First Mate Fitzsimmons, right outside the local inn. He starts telling me this story about the Third Fleet, or the Doomed Fleet, that was attacked by some dragons that were being controlled by orcs. Apparently, he was on the voyage and was actually the sole survivor. So I'm here on the edge of my seat waiting for him to finish this story, and wow. He's gonna sucker me into buying him a drink. Otherwise, he won't be able to continue his tale. Seriously, dude? Hey, a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do, am I right? Alright, you've already roped me in, and I do want to hear the rest of this story, so I'll get you your drink. Once inside, I run into a few more quest NPCs. One of them we'll get to later, and the other, well, I'll be totally honest, I forgot about this one, but it's actually one of the main reasons I traveled up here to the wetlands in the first place. I'm supposed to be looking for a metal called Lightforge Iron, and this dwarf here, Glorin Steelbrow, is going to help me get it. Ah, and I've already found a connection between the Lightforge Iron metal and the First Mate's story. Both of them involve this so-called Third Fleet. Interesting. Steelbrow tells me if I want to find this precious metal, I should search the wreckage of the Flying Osprey south of Menethil Harbor. And the last quest is from this guy named Vincent Heil, who misses his brother and wants me to sail across the entire world just to check up on him. Okay, let me get this straight. I just met you, and you expect me to just drop whatever I'm doing to go check on your brother who lives on another continent? What do you think I'm doing here? Just prancing around looking to run errands for anyone and everyone that I meet? I'll reward you with some leveling experience. Okay, I'll do it. And last but not least, I buy the First Mate his flagon of Dwarven Honeymead, which I must admit sounds really good right about now. Alright, here you go, buddy. This better be good. After downing the flagon with a few swift gulps, it seems to loosen his tongue, and he continues with his tale. I am the sole survivor of the ill-fated Third Fleet of Kul Taras, wrecked off the coast to the north. Yeah, you already said that. Let me finish. Although I'm the only member of the fleet still breathing, I'm not the only one still walking about. Wait, what do you mean? On one of our ships was hidden a great and terrible treasure, and the eerie power of it keeps the souls of my brothers trapped within the ship's rotting hulls. If you can free some of my brothers, then perhaps you can break their curse. Break the curse? Who cares about the curse? How do I get my hands on this treasure? I mean, oh no, that's just terrible, losing the rest of your crew like that. So sorry for your loss. I will definitely help you break this curse. I don't even care at all what's in it for me or about this great terrible treasure that you mentioned. So is it like a lot of gold, or what kind of treasure are we talking about here? Alright, so I've got to go kill a bunch of these cursed sailors and bring back something called a snuff box to First Mate Fitzsimmons. Let's start off with the Lightforge Iron quest. So I head south, and it doesn't take me very long at all to stumble upon this waterlogged chest. Looks like there's only one measly piece of metal inside. It turns out the local murlocs have gotten a little bit greedy and stolen the rest of the precious metal for themselves. And for that, they must pay the ultimate price. Death. So, I run around killing any and every murloc that I can find. After about 20 minutes, I acquire the 5th and final Lightforge ingot, bring it back to Glorn Steelbrow, and he tells me to bring the metal to a weaponsmith in Stormwind named Grimmin Elmore so he can fashion me a weapon that will give Morbid Fell a run for his money. Now here's my predicament. On one hand, I could be selfless and return to Stormwind to acquire this weapon in order to help the good people of Darkshire. Probably save a few orphan children, maybe a couple damsels in distress. Or I could forget about all that and go after this cursed treasure. I'm sure the women and children will be fine, probably. Let's go hunt some treasure. Before I head out, I want to take a look around this castle really quick. I do have to point out that I'm pretty sure most of these castles are just copy and paste replicas of each other. The interior design might be slightly different, but the layout of all of them is definitely the exact same. Oh, and would you look at that, another dark, creepy, empty basement. I am thankful though that curiosity got the best of me, as it so often does, because I run into a dwarf named Captain Stoutfist, and he has a quest for me that sounds important. He tells me, the Dragonmaw Orc clan was all but destroyed by the end of the Second War, after they lost control of their red dragon pets. The dragons were not very happy with their old masters and fiercely hunted the Dragonmaws. What few remained fled from Grim Batal and into the mountains east of Welgar's excavation. Now they've gained strength and have an encampment northeast of Menethil. We want you to attack that encampment. Gather and bring me their war banners as proof. Ugh, freaking horde. Hate those guys. Looks like I'll be adding some orc hunting to my to-do list, but first, let's go find this treasure. I mean, free those cursed sailors from their eternal doom. Yeah, pure motives, baby. Totally pure motives. Don't worry, boys, I'm here to help. Wait, what the crap? They turned me into one of them. Yeah, not even close, baby. What actually is this? Curse of the Eye. Cursed by the Eye of Paleth. Physical damage dealt is reduced by 8. Casting speed reduced by 20%. You fools, you think that will slow me down? I can just use my remove lesser curse ability to get rid of that one. Oh look, there's a couple other people hanging out down here. What's up, guys? So after taking down the necessary amount of cursed sailors and marines, I scour the ships for something that looks like a snuff box. Basically, I'm just looking for a box because I have no idea what a snuff box is. But it turns out I was looking for the wrong thing the entire time. I wasn't supposed to be looking for a box, I was supposed to be looking for a guy carrying a box. And eventually, I do find him. His corpse just floating around in the bottom of this shipwreck. First mate Snellig. Kinda creepy, honestly. Mouth's just wide open, dangling around like that. Alright, guess I have to wait for him to respawn, along with these other chaps that show up wanting to kill him as well. So we just stand here, waiting, and aha, there he is. Get him, boys. Nice. After grabbing Snellig's snuff box, I decided to explore around the region a little bit more, just to see if there's anything else of interest in these parts. Nothing too crazy. Although, I do take the time to pop in and say hello to this band of gnolls at their encampment, and I must say they were quite rude about it. So, I make sure that none of them are able to see the light of day ever again. Next up, the Dragonmaw Orc Raiders. I'm able to find them on these mountainous hills over here, and there are a lot of them. So I do what us mages do best. Group a bunch of them up, use my Frost Nova, and of course, I missed this one guy. There's always that one guy that screws everything up. Ah yes, that's much better. Feel the wrath of the almighty mage Zemek. And it doesn't take me long at all to acquire the 8th and final Dragonmaw War Banner. With that, I head back to Menethil Harbor, meet up with Captain Stoutfist, hand him the banners, he tells me good job, and then explains that this group of warring orcs are led by a guy named Nekrosh. Apparently his father was killed by the very dragons that their clan used to control. That's pretty crazy. But now, Nekrosh is planning to lay siege to Menethil Harbor. He's setting up catapults to destroy the town and docks as we speak. But we can't have that now, can we? Stoutfist then hands me some tinder and tasks me with destroying these weapons of mass destruction. Aye aye, Captain, you can count on me. Now back to our quest for treasure, helping out. Who am I kidding? I'm just in this for the treasure. So I return to First Mate Fitzsimmons, hand him the snuff box, he tells me thanks, and let's see what he has to say here. To break the curse and free all of my brethren, the thing stowed on my ship must be retrieved and cleansed. I don't know what it was, but I do know that it was stored securely in the ship's strongbox, which Captain Hallandor lorded over. My old captain is still in my dreams. I know he walks my doomed ship, the Intrepid. Get the key from him and use it to open the Intrepid's strongbox. Then, after you have the cursed thing, bring it to the priest Glorn Steelbrow in town. Okay, so I have to get the Intrepid strongbox key by what would appear to be murdering Captain Hallandor. But wait, if he's already dead, does it still count as murder? So once again, we're left with a difficult decision. Save Menethil Harbor and all of its inhabitants from impending doom, or keep looking for this treasure. So I head back to the shipwreck, kill Captain Hallandor, grab the key, and I'm an idiot. When I originally read through the quest, I thought it said bring the key back to the priest, so I left the area thinking that I had completed my task, even though, well, I hadn't. Anyways, I'm not the only idiot around here because it turns out the orcs were having some technical difficulties of their own with their catapult death machines. Probably user error, let's be honest. And I'm able to make it just in time to destroy the catapults before any harm can be done. I'm thankful I showed up when I did because I am sure that if it was any later, those catapults definitely wouldn't have just been sitting there waiting for me to arrive in order to destroy them for my personalized questing experience. Crisis averted. Now, I've experienced a lot of strange things during my time in the world of Azeroth, but this next encounter might just take the cake for weirdest things ever. After completing the quest, the burning catapult starts talking to me. And it's talking in third person, which makes it even more weird. I mean, I've heard of Moses and the burning bush, but a burning catapult? Never in my wildest dreams. This game never ceases to amaze me. The burning catapult then instructs me to kill Chieftain Nekrosh, and oh my gosh, even the talking burning catapult wants me to chop off someone's head. You just can't make this stuff up. The quest log doesn't actually give me any clue or direction as to where Nekrosh resides, but I kind of just assume he's more than likely further down into the camp. And I happen to be right. To my delight, there's a level 27 night elf named Eagle Eyes just standing here. I guess he was probably pondering the situation and calculating whether or not he'd be able to take down these mobs on his own. Yeah, it doesn't take long to figure out, no, he would not have been able to complete this quest on his own, because even with my help, we're still cruising around on the struggle bus. So much so that he actually dies during the first attempt. The second time around, we try to come up with a better strategy, and of course, all of the mobs respawn right as we're about to execute the plan. Not a huge deal, we'll just take them out really quick. Alright, here we go. We've isolated the chieftain, just us versus Nekrosh now. Oh boy. It would appear that he's immune to fire damage. This is going to be very difficult. Eagle Eyes tries his best to maintain aggro, but Nekrosh here is really craving some human mage pie. I do my best to kite while dealing damage, but the elf's health bar is depleting fast. Our situation is dire. I don't think we're going to make it out of this alive, not without some sort of miracle. And that is when she appears. No, like seriously though, this girl just pops in out of nowhere. A level 60 human warlock. The classic WoW gods have smiled on me once again. She pulls out a little razzle-dazzle channeling spell and pretty much makes Nekrosh look like a little ant pile for her to step on. He's quite literally dead within seconds of her showing up. And before we even have the time to thank her, she's gone. Eagle Eyes and I just stand there for a moment in disbelief as to what just happened. Did we just encounter a guardian angel in classic WoW? I'm not really sure. All I know is you can say there's no such thing as WoW angels, but as for me and Eagle Eyes, we believe. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I have to saw off this guy's head and shove it into one of my bags. With that, I head back to the harbor to turn in my quest, and this is the part where I realize I forgot to open up the Intrepid strongbox and wasn't actually done with the quest. So I head back to the Lost Fleet, kill more of these cursed crew members, search the ship, find the strongbox, open it up, and oh my, now I have inanimate boxes speaking to me. What an odd day this is turning out to be. Inside the box is the treasure that Fitzsimmons was telling me about, a blackened orb pulsing with an eerie light called the Cursed Eye of Paleth. The strongbox instructs me to take this orb to the priest Glorin Steelbrow, which is exactly what I do. And would you look at that, it turns out I'm not the only one the first mate has been exploiting for free flagons of ale. I should have known better, but it did lead me to this little piece of treasure, so I guess it was worth it. Anyways, I hand him the cursed Eye of Paleth, and nice, level 33. Steelbrow tells me I can't lift the curse from the Eye of Paleth. The eyes were crafted by human priests, so you'll have to go to Stormwind to find someone who can help you. Speak with Archbishop Benedictus. He is head of the Cathedral of Light in Stormwind. He can help. I hope for your sake. Alrighty then. Looks like I'll need to pay a visit to Stormwind at some point. But before I do that, the stench from this bloody head is really starting to make me feel nauseous. So I head over to Captain Stoutfist, hand over Nekrosh's head. He's very thankful for the service. I get to choose one of these 2 rewards that are completely useless to me, and that's that. I don't think there's any other quests over here related to the orcs in the wetlands. Nice, another zone free of corruption thanks to the benevolent acts of Zemek the Human Mage. Now before I head back to Stormwind, there's another quest called Malin's Request that requires me to travel to a new region, the Arathi Highlands. When I look at my map, it appears to be the adjacent zone just north of here. So before returning to Stormwind, I decide to pursue this endeavor. Little do I know, this is about to be the worst decision I'll ever make in Classic WoW. I head out of town following the road east and then north until I come across a few of these Dwarven quest NPCs. Truthfully, I don't think I end up completing any of these quests, so I'm just going to skip them for now. This area is called Dunmoder. It appears to be an elite area with tons of mobs, and since I don't have a group of friends to accompany me, I think it's best to just avoid it altogether. Back to the task at hand. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, crossing the bridge into the Arathi Highlands. Holy crap, this bridge is absolutely massive. Definitely the biggest one I've seen so far in Classic WoW. Now most players would just kind of run through here, not really taking the time to appreciate the surrounding scenery. But me, that's just not in my nature. So I decided to run around and explore a little bit. And you know the phrase, curiosity killed the cat? Well, I'm the curious cat in this scenario. And for reasons that I could not actually explain to you, I decided that now is a perfect time to practice my parkour abilities on this bridge, which leads to me falling down this massive chasm into the body of water below. No problem though, I'll just swim to the nearest land spot where I can simply climb out of the water. But as I look to the left and to the right, it doesn't look good. I really have no idea how far of a swim it might be to the nearest exit point. I could potentially Hearthstone or teleport out of here, but then all that time I spent running from Menethil Harbor to the Arathi Highlands would be totally wasted. So I don't want to do that either. My final conclusion is that my best way out of here is, well, drowning and respawning at the nearest spirit healer. So that's exactly what I do. Now, in hindsight, I should have just spoken to the spirit healer, taken the res sickness penalty, and gone about my merry way. But I didn't want to miss the initial experience of running into the Highland Zone for the first time. So I start running back to my corpse with the hopes of resurrection. If you thought me falling off the bridge was the worst part of the story, oh no, my friends. It's about to go from bad to absolutely catastrophic. As I near the place where I jumped off, I figured that the game won't take into account the vertical distance and will recognize that horizontally I'm standing right next to my dead body. Well, I assumed wrong, because even though I'm essentially right on top of the grave symbol on the minimap, it doesn't give me the opportunity to resurrect. Thinking that maybe if I just get a better angle, it might work out, I get on top of this ledge by jumping onto this giant metal chain. I get as close to the edge as I possibly can, but no luck. And this, my friends, is where I make the fatal mistake. I step down into this little boxed wall area. Seems harmless, right? Wrong. When I attempt to jump onto the giant metal chain to get out, yep, you guessed it, I am stuck. And not just momentarily stuck, I am eternally stuck. Since my character is in ghost mode, I have zero options other than trying frantically to find a small little spot somewhere where I can weasel my way out. I can't use teleport, I can't use my Hearthstone, and I can't be summoned by other players. After a few minutes of trying every little nook and cranny to escape my self-made prison, it's hopeless. So I do the only thing that I can. I Google what to do if you're stuck in classic WoW. At first, I'm optimistic because a lot of people are saying all you have to do is use the stuck character service and player support will manually move your character to a safe location, and that it shouldn't take more than 10 to 15 minutes. So that's what I end up doing. Now, all I can do is wait. So I wait, and I wait, and I wait some more. 2 hours have now gone by with no response. It's getting late, and what was supposed to be a fun, relaxing evening of playing classic WoW has now turned into an absolute nightmare. I'm stressing out. I've dedicated 6 months of my life to this journey. I do not want this to be the way that the story ends for ZMAC the Mage. Will I have to create a new character and start all over? My mind is racing. 3 hours have now gone by and I have to work in the morning, so I have no other option but to exit the game and leave my fate up to the classic WoW gods. I lay my head down on the pillow and I cannot believe this is happening. My greatest foe yet in classic WoW. A small little wrong step that causes me to get stuck. Eventually, I fall asleep, hoping and praying that when I wake up in the morning, I'll be able to continue my World of Warcraft journey. But without the intervention of player support, ZMAC the Mage is royally... They tried to keep me down. They tried to contain me within those 4 walls. I was on my way to becoming the greatest WoW player the world had ever seen, when a simple misstep threatened to unravel my dreams and put an end to our hero's journey. Why did the classic WoW gods allow this to happen? Had they become jealous of my rise to fame? Was it fear? Punishment for all the heads I've chopped off and collected along the way? Or maybe it was something else entirely. Maybe this was all just a test of my mental fortitude and resilience, a test to see if I have what it takes to prepare me for an even greater challenge that is yet to come, an opportunity to look adversity directly in the eye and say, you haven't seen the last of me, pal. This isn't over. Gosh dang it, I will find a way to escape these 4 walls, and when I do, I'll come back even stronger. I'll be reborn just like Gandalf in the 2 Towers when he fell from the bridge of Khazad-dûm. But instead of saying, you shall not pass, I'll be saying, I shall surely pass.
Because I'll have reached my evolved form. Nothing is going to keep me from...
Oh, nice. Thanks, Blizzard support. So yeah, I got out of my predicament thanks to the help of the stuck character service. I was incredibly relieved the next morning to find my character magically transported to the gates of Stormwind City. I was genuinely so stressed out about it. Of course, looking back now, I really didn't have anything to be that worried about. It's just the first time that sort of thing has happened to me, so I panicked a little bit. A few people mentioned in the comments that I could have found someone to resurrect me and then teleport out of there, which I didn't really think about. But I do remember asking for help in general chat and no one was responding to me. So regardless, I probably would have been stuck there until Blizzard came to my rescue. All that being said, our journey to level 60 continues and we've got some juicy stuff to cover today. Exploring unknown territories, discovering some absolutely bonkers XP farming spots, my first ever voyage across the sea, and I come across the best drop I have ever gotten in classic WoW. Trust me, you do not want to miss it. As always, a huge shout out to my Patreons for supporting the channel throughout these creative works. I have been blown away by the growing numbers in our community. Thank you guys so much. More information on how you can support the channel at the end of this video. Alright, so my ghost has transported back to Stormwind City here, and of course, since it's not possible to fast travel while dead, there is no way that I'm running all the way back to my corpse. Or will I? No, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So I find the closest spirit healer, and interestingly enough, I'm actually resurrected back in the Arathi Highlands. Not really sure how that works, but hey, I'm not complaining because it saves me a little bit of travel time. I take a quick look at the map, and as you can see, I've got a lot to uncover. It's definitely going to take me some time, but this is one of my favorite parts of the game, especially since I'm not using any guides. There's nothing telling me what to do or where to go. I just get to run around, explore the world, and see what I can find. Since I died on my way into the zone, I head back towards the parkour bridge. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. And don't worry, this time around, I'll avoid any and all of my daredevil stuntman antics. Looks like it's raining pretty hard, so kinda hard to see much of anything. I don't think it was raining the first time I got here. Actually though, how does the weather work in WoW Classic? I've never really paid too much attention to it. Can it rain in any of the zones or just certain ones? Is it on a set timer or is it just completely random? Ooh, check out this giant rope bridge. Oh shoot, I forgot I have to wait out this resurrection sickness. Don't mind me, fellas, just going for an afternoon stroll. There's a little waterfall off to my left, a big old Stonehenge looking structure, another smaller bridge next to this stream that connects to a small pond, and right away I can tell this zone is a lot more diverse with its elevation when compared to previous zones like the wetlands. There's a bunch of hills and giant boulders jutting out of the ground, and I think maybe that's a mountain range off in the distance. Kinda hard to tell. Okay, what do we have here? Hammerfall sounds kinda cool. Let's go that way. I bet no one else actually stops to use these directional signposts. Just me. But when you don't have something or someone telling you exactly where to go, they're kind of lifesavers. Oh, also, I have never been the kind of person that sticks to roads in video games. Usually, it takes a lot longer to get around that way. But in my situation, I'm actually saving myself time since in Classic WoW, they always lead to a city or outpost or something of importance. Otherwise, I'd just be running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Okay, guys, can we just acknowledge this for a second? I've said this before, but look at this. I'm practically halfway through the zone and the map still hasn't revealed anything to me yet. I genuinely don't understand it. Like, how is that possible? There we go. Hammerfall. All right, let's see what this is. Ah, nutsack. Some sort of horde base camp. Hopefully this isn't another one of those horde PvP zones again. I guess we'll try the other option. Stromguard. Not feeling particularly hopeful about that one either. Oh wait, what's this? Refuge Point? I could use a little bit of refuge right about now. I'm gonna check that out. Oh, nice. There's actually a Griffin Master here. And apparently I have a quest to turn in here as well. I'm thinking this is where I need to be. Oh, that's right. I picked up Malin's request a long time ago in Stormwind. Just kind of picked it up randomly from a guy in the Mage District. I'll be honest, I totally forgot about that. All right, Square Toe, what do you got for me? So Malin sent ya. I don't care if Muradin rose up from the dead and whisked you here on a dragon. I don't really get that reference, but yeah, I'm busy. Talk to Crichton if you need something. All right, will do. I don't really know what I need from him, but I'm sure it's something important. What do we have over here? Some sort of League of Arathor PvP entrance. Unlock this flight path, very nice. Oh, this bonfire is amazing. Just what I needed to warm up these old rickety bones of mine. I'm telling you, there's no cartilage left in either of my knees. Nope, straight up bone on bone in these bad boys. Now, if only I had some chips and hummus to munch on. Oh look, it stopped raining. It's almost as if I logged off and got back on hours later. All right, let's introduce ourselves to Captain Niles. Oh wow, she jumps right into it. We are fighting a war for Stromguard and we are losing. The ogres, the syndicate, and we have divided our once great city, and each faction battles the other into a bloody stalemate. But our forces dwindle while our enemy grows. We need help from the town of South Shore, but supplies are difficult to receive while the syndicate holds territory between us. Go to the syndicate base in Northfold Manor and slay them. Then perhaps pressure on our supply trains will lessen and more will get through. Wowzers, yeah. Okay, I think I can manage that. Look at Apprentice Crichton just waiting so patiently for me over here. Talk to him real quick, and I guess it's not just me. Square Toe, the dwarf guy over there, comes off as rude to everyone that meets him. In the meantime, Crichton suggests that we work on something a little more reproductive. Look, Crichton, you seem like a nice guy and all, but let's just say I'm more of a Captain Niles kind of guy, if you know what I mean. Oh, wait a second. Productive. He said productive. My bad. So yeah, Malin sent these guys out here to collect some reagents, and now Crichton wants me to do his work for him. I have to find these so-called witherbarks, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that polite civil discourse is not going to be an option. Okay, first things first, I need to find the Northfold Manor. That's where all these syndicate bad guys are, supposedly. What is this? Dabbery's farmstead? Nope, these are all just a bunch of innocent farmers trying to make a living out here. Well, I'm already over here, so let's see if I can reveal this portion of the map down south. The Goshek Farm. Wait, this kind of looks like the farm we just came from, except this one is run by orcs instead of humans. Holy crap, did I just discover one of the best XP farms in the game? There are so many orc mobs over here, and they're all melee, which is perfect for me. I don't know if it's just the mage class or what, but man, this seems so broken. I'm getting over 1,000 XP just for killing a few of them. I mean, that took me like, what, 20 seconds? When you compare that with how long a lot of the quests take and how much XP you get from those, which, let's be honest, is not always a lot, it's no wonder a lot of people just run around power farming. I'm going to continue on with my questing, but I'll keep this place in the back of my mind. I plan on coming back here at some point. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Ooh, what's down here? The Circle of Inner Binding. No way. I love this person's name. I should have gone with Gandalf Boy or something like that. Welp, mistakes were made. Let's just forget about that one. Round 2, here we go. Oh boy. Don't worry guys, I got this. Yeah, I don't got this. All the dinosaurs are mad at me because I haven't gone out to see the new Jurassic World movie yet. Well, guess what? You can't spell Jurassic World without Chris Pratt. You think just because they throw in Scarlett Johansson, I'm gonna go see it? Okay, that actually might work. But no, seriously, I'm actually more excited for the Freaky Friday sequel coming out soon. Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis back in action. Talk about a dream come true. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, questing and exploring. So I discovered the Stromgard Keep, and it actually looks really cool, but yeah, the first mob I come across is a level 36 elite. Probably going to need to come back here with a friend or 2, or 3. Okay, maybe 4. Well, look who we have here. It's my old nemesis, Brum Winterhoof. Clearly he's no match for my ever-growing wizardly powers. Yeah, I guess I'll let him live. For now. And here we are. I finally found the Northfold Manor. Oh shoot, what the? Where did that guy come from? Looks like there's some invisible syndicate rogues skulking around over here. I just have to kill 10 of these highwaymen and 6 of the mercenaries. And there you have it. 16 out of 16 mobs slain. So I return to Captain Niles, turn in the quest, and she wants me to bring her some badges from that Stromgard Keep place. So basically, you want me dead. That's what it sounds like. Is it because of the comment I made earlier to Princess Crichton? Because I can assure you, I meant no disrespect. Alright, before I go any further, I think it's about time that I give a little bit of attention to my tailoring profession. Can't really remember the last time I did anything with it. So I head back to Ironforge, and actually, German Stonebrow tells me I'll need to travel to Stormwind if I want to further my training. I then teleport back to the Mage District, find Giorgio Bolero, and continue working on that for about an hour or so. Apart from a couple pieces of gear that are actually useful for me, I end up putting most of the items on the auction house. It's definitely hit or miss at this point. Sometimes my crafted gear sells, other times it doesn't. Hopefully, I'll eventually get to a place where my tailoring is beneficial for higher level players and sells more consistently. For now though, it's back to the Arathi Highlands. I'd like to find this Witherbark village place, but first, I can't resist doing a little bit of power farming at this orc spot. I mean, legitimately, like one group of these guys fills up almost an entire one of these small little bars down here. And just like that, I am now level 34. Let's go. And we all know what that means. Time to pay a visit to our good friend, Miss Cannon. Dang, the only thing that really looks worth it to me is the Cone of Cold upgrade. Janaea, I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. Okay, back to the mission at hand. Diplomacy with the Witherbarks. I find their village and, of course, you can imagine how talking through things peacefully turns out. Looks like I'll have to get my hands dirty yet again. Ugh, They've got a bunch of ranged axe throwers. I hate when I have to fight enemy mobs on a level playing field. I'd much rather freeze them in place and melt their health bars as they stare at me, wishing there was something they could do about it. And there we go. This one took a little bit longer due to the RNG loot drops, but I successfully acquired all of the quest items. So I head back to Refuge Point, speak with Crichton, hand him all the items, complete the quest, and he informs me that he believes Squirto is in a better mood and that I should try talking to him again. Sure enough, he is. He even takes the time to apologize while also slipping in a subtle dad joke, which is always going to earn a few brownie points in my book. I might have been a little too quick to judge this guy after all. Anyways, he needs me to retrieve Trelawney's wand in Boulder Fist Hall, the dwelling place for a bunch of ogres here in Arathi. But oh, it's a red quest. I'm gonna have to put that one on hold for now. But that's okay, because there's actually something else that I've been really looking forward to. Traveling to the Dust Wallow Marsh. It's on the other side of the world, and I've been instructed to take one of these ships at Menethil Harbor in order to get there. Apparently, it's this boat over here on the left. Well, it's been a minute or two and nothing has happened. There's also no one else on board, so yeah, I'm thinking this is the wrong boat. Oh, wait, there's another dock over there. Let's go check that out. Oh, that's gotta be it. This ship is actually moving. Oh yeah, baby. A bunch of other players are here, but I'm going to ask someone just to be sure. Okay, Bible female dog nodded at me, so we're going with it. Okay, we're moving. Here we go. Not gonna lie, this is pretty sick. How long does this usually take? I like the fact that you have to physically get on the ship and stand around with all the other players. I've never experienced anything like this before. Most games that I know of, when it comes to traveling overseas and stuff like that, you just talk to a guy and then it will jump to a loading screen before teleporting your character to the desired destination. Again, another fantastic way that Classic WoW maintains that sense of immersion and groundedness for its players. And honestly, it really doesn't take that long at all. But here we are. Theramore Isle. Wait a sec, gotta get a selfie real quick in front of this ship. Man, I look good. This place looks interesting. So where are we exactly? Okay, I'm on the continent of Kalimdor. Let's talk to the Griffin Master here, see if I can fly anywhere. Nice, new flight path discovered. You don't know any flight locations connected to this one. Well, that's a little bit contradicting, Baldric. I'm getting some Stormwind City vibes, except a lot smaller and slightly depressing. Look, it's a practicing guard. Yeah, whack that dummy with that sword. All right, let's check out the Citadel to see if there's anything that I can help out with. Looks like I'm supposed to talk to this guy. James Heil. James Heil. Why does that name sound familiar? Oh, I remember. This is from that random guy in the Wetlands Tavern. Sounds like his brother was involved in something that went down in the Shady Rest Inn. If you have any information about what happened there, nope, can't say that I do. I would urge you to speak with Captain Vimes about it. If I hear anything, I will be sure to let him know. And one more quest NPC that, spoiler, I'm going to be making a dedicated episode for at some point in the near future. In the meantime, I have decided to take the Theramore Isle Citadel as my own. And for my first order of business, I would like a glass of milk. Wait a second. Whoa, they have a trauma surgeon here in Theramore. That's legit. Oh, wow. Yeah, like I said, this place is kind of depressing. Heyo, except for the ruler that runs this place. Hello there, Lady Jaina Proudmoore. It is an honor to meet your acquaintance. The name's Z-Mag. You've probably heard of me. Yeah, she pretty much tells me she's busy and doesn't have time to talk. After running around the city and familiarizing myself with the local shops, I decided that it's time to venture out into the bleak wilderness of the Dust Wallow Marsh. And bleak it is. Everything out here is either dead or dying. Apart from some different shades of brown and gray, there's not a whole lot of color going on. Not a great vacation cruise destination spot, that's for sure. Oh geez, the spiders can turn invisible? That's terrifying. Now truth be told, apart from working on the quest that shall not be named, I don't accomplish much of anything while I'm out here. The most exciting thing that happens is stumbling upon this Murloc village along the coast. There's a ton of mobs to farm, and I might have just found another really OP power farming spot. So I try to group some of them up, and it doesn't go so well. Probably because they're a couple levels higher than me. But I won't give up so easily. When I go for a second attempt, everything is going well until, oh my gosh, a swarm of Murlocs aggroes me out of nowhere from behind. pretty sure another player was running by and accidentally dragged them into me. After a couple more attempts with no success, I decided to continue exploring the rest of the zone, and I'll be honest, it's just not my favorite region. Maybe for some people, the doom and gloom, lifeless landscape speaks to them, but it's just not my cup of tea. Also, I died like another 4 or 5 times, so yeah, that didn't help at all. My mind wanders off to thoughts of palm trees, panthers, and pina coladas. I know what this means. The jungle is calling to me, and when the jungle calls, I must answer. Although my time here in the Dustswallow Marsh was short, I'm sure I'll be back at some point. After whipping out a little razzle-dazzle teleport magic, I say smell you later to Theramore and then travel back to Stormwind, where I'm able to catch an early morning flight to the Goblin City of Legends, Booty Bay. A few levels earlier, I abandoned Stranglethorn Vale in search of greener pastures, specifically for leveling. But now that I've gone through the wetlands and at least some of Arathi Highlands, I've gained a couple of levels, and I'm hoping that this time around it will go a little more smoothly. And what a decision it was. What I didn't know is that I would soon stumble upon the best loot drop that I have ever experienced in Classic WoW. And man, it is good to be back, baby. This has got to be one of my favorite views in the entire game. Gotta soak in some of that sun after being deprived of it for so long in the marshes. Gosh, that place was depressing. Okay, so we're back at the Salty Sailor Tavern, and I'm going to be picking up a few different quests. First, and probably the most important one, as I will soon find out, Krazik has a quest called Investigate the Camp. He tells me, I've gotten reports of a group of hunters that have set up camp upriver of the Adventure Company mining camp on Lake Nasferidi. Now, normally I wouldn't care, but I heard that Hemet Nessingwary was one of the hunters there. He's certainly well connected if you catch my meaning, and you never can be too safe. Why don't you go check out the camp and see what they're about? Alright, not sure who Hemet Nessingwary is or why he's important, but I can do that. The other quests are supplies to Private Thorson and ooh, the Haunted Isle. That sounds interesting. Oh nice, the Baron is actually right over here. My gosh, I've never really paid close attention, but the goblins are kind of creepy looking. They've just got this sinister, sharp-toothed smile permanently plastered across their face. Gotta keep my guard up in this neck of the woods. After relaying the story to him about the haunted island off the coast, he replies, interesting. Some time ago, I seem to remember reading a book once that suggested, of course, a troll legend it was. If what Krazik purports is true, perhaps I will soon be able to add the Stone of the Tides to my collection of ancient artifacts and relics. The Stone of the Tides? What's that? Oh, it's not important. But if there is indeed a goblin mage and water elementals haunting the island, it could mean the Stone of the Tides can be mine. I want you to locate this haunted island. Find out what's going on. Okay, I'm not doing anything for you unless you tell me what this stone is and why it's so important. Alright. If you want to find out more about the Stone of the Tides, take this script to the Stormwind Library. They should be able to find you a copy of the book I first came across the legend in. I mean, I could do that, or you could save me the trip and just tell me more about it right now. Could it be that Gazban actually discovered the stone? And he refuses to go into any further details. Alright, fine. Keep your secrets. But it might be a while before I return to Stormwind. There's some other things I have to attend to, like investigating the camp that Krazik was telling me about. I just have to find it first. The quest log says the camp is upriver of the Adventure Company mining camp on Lake Nasferidi, so what better way to find it than getting my feet wet and going for a little swim. Aha! Success! I found it. When I introduce myself to Barnel Stonepot, he tells me, welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. Wait, what? I don't get it. Oh, never mind. He then goes on to inform me that we are in the presence of the one and only Hemet Nessingwary, a renowned war hero and master big game hunter. And he wants me to go speak with him to see if he'll give me any hunting pointers. Oh gosh. I will say the max number of only 20 quests at a time is really annoying. I keep having to look through my quest log to abandon quests just so I can pick up new ones. And I don't always know which ones to keep and which ones to get rid of. I'm sure the devs have their reasons for this, but I don't really see the point. Anyways, I speak to Mr. Hessingwary, who says to me, jolly nice to make your acquaintance, Zemak. Haven't seen a mage around these parts for some time. I situated myself with this expedition for one purpose, to hunt a great and elusive beast. Saying that you're a hero of sorts, I'm willing to let you take part in the hunt. But you must first prove yourself. I shall teach the ways of raptor killing to you, Ajax will train you with tiger hunting, and Sir Erlgardin is a master of panther tracking. Previous skill and I'll let you in on the big hunt. Oh, heck yeah, this sounds awesome. I'm curious to find out what the big hunt is. Yeah, you remember earlier how I said that this was the most important quest I picked up in Booty Bay? That's because this hunter's camp offers a ton of level appropriate quests in the area, something that I was struggling to find last time I was here. 3 of them are animal hunting quests for raptors, panthers, and tigers, and the 4th one is from Barnel Stonepot called the Green Hills of Stranglethorn, which is actually a really fun concept for a quest. Apparently, Master Nessingwary wrote a novel called The Green Hills of Stranglethorn and trusted Mr. Stonepot here to proofread it for him. But a huge gust of wind through the camp took the pages and scattered them all throughout the jungle. At first, I was thinking it was just going to be 4 individual pages that I could search for and find on the ground or something like that. But actually, it turns out to be multiple pages per chapter, so 15 total. And what he fails to mention is that you have to loot them off of enemy mobs throughout the zone. And as far as I know, all of the pages have completely random drop tables, so basically there's no good reason to hyper focus on it. This is just a quest to pick up early on in your Stranglethorn adventures that hopefully by the time you're done with the zone, you'll be able to turn it in for some XP and the special treat of reading Hammett Nessingwary's novel, if you want to take the time to do that. Spoiler, it takes me a really long time, but I do end up finding all of the chapter pages. I'm not going to be pointing them out along the way because it's just way too much and too random to keep track of. Real quick, I just want to point out that I really appreciate the devs adding the quest for new players to discover the camp. If it wasn't for Krazik sending me here, I really don't know if I would have found this place on my own. Now for the next hour or so, I pretty much just run around slaughtering innocent wildlife, collecting loot, and wondering why I'm such a terrible person. I'm not going to bore you with all of the raw footage, but as promised, towards the end of farming the panthers, I did come across the best loot drop that I've yet experienced in WoW Classic. And lucky for you guys, I was actually streaming, so you get to hear my live reaction to what is about to transpire. Without further ado, here we go.
Resisted that again. That could be the same amount of satisfaction as someone that spends months, years of their life. Oh, what is that? Guys, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Do you guys see this? Holy crap. What? Starfaller. 32.9 damage per second. A blue wand. I just got a blue wand drop. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Mount money. How much does it cost to get a mount?
Yeah, I get a blue wand drop called the Starfaller. As you can tell, I genuinely cannot believe it. It's by far the best item that I've looted throughout my entire time playing WoW. So yeah, needless to say, I'm incredibly excited about it. And it gets me stoked thinking about all the other possible rare loot finds I might come across on my journey going forward. After that huge dopamine rush and finishing the first couple of hunting quests, I return to the camp, turn in the first couple of quests, reach level 35, and each of the quest NPCs follow up with another slightly more difficult challenge. So now, instead of killing young Stranglethorn tigers, I have to hunt down Stranglethorn tigers, without the word young in their name. And the same goes for the panthers, as well as something similar to that with the raptors. I don't really know, they're kind of their own thing. But I knock those quests out and decide that it's probably about time for me to get some rest. Ugh, the worst part about Stranglethorn Vale is having to run back to it after every single time that you log off. I've heard rumors that the Westfall Inn is the best place for weary travelers in the northern part of Stranglethorn, which honestly, a soft, cozy bed in Sentinel Hill sounds absolutely perfect right about now. There's just one thing that would make it even better. Thankfully, Heather tells me she just received a fresh new shipment this morning. So I take a load off, warm up my toes by the furnace, and reflect on this incredible journey that I'm on, while guzzling down a glass of ice cold milk. Ah, that's the stuff. After that, I head to bed, still giddy with excitement, smiling softly as Starfall rests by my side, and eventually I drift off to sleep under the warm, soothing glow of candlelight. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but it turns out World of Warcraft players really like their mounts. Now, seeing as I'm somewhat new to the WoW community, when I first heard about this, I was like, really? I mean, mounts are okay, but personally, I'm more of an Almond Joy guy. Yeah. No, but seriously, ever since I entered the world of Azeroth, I've been hearing about these creatures of legend that can carry you around on their backs at staggering speeds, decreasing a player's overall travel time, and making them look really cool while doing it. So, of course, I knew that I had to get my hands on one. There was just one problem. You don't actually unlock mounts in Classic WoW until level 40. And if you don't already know this, it takes a decent chunk of time to get there, especially if you're not using any leveling guides and have no idea what you're doing, or if you're just really bad like me and you die a lot. Yeah, that doesn't really help at all either. Oh, also, it costs like 80 gold, which for new players, that's kind of a lot. So initially, the thought of acquiring a mount of my own sounded like more of a pipe dream, something that was beyond my reach. However, slowly but surely, I've climbed my way up the mountain that is the classic WoW leveling experience, and recently I came to the realization at level 35 that I was actually getting kind of close. So I decided for this video, we are going to do what MMO players do best. We're going to grind it out. This video will not end until I reach level 40 and finally unlock the coveted, the almighty, the all-glorious classic WoW horse mount. So ladies and gentlemen, strap in, because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. No, actually though, maybe go to the bathroom real quick, grab yourself a drink, and get cozy, because you're in for quite the adventure, my friend. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, if we're going to reach level 40 by the end of this video, we have some serious work cut out for us. There's absolutely no time to waste. Oh crap, how do I get out of this thing? Not only do I need to level up, but I also need to figure out how to acquire 80 gold so that I can actually buy the mount. We left off running around Stranglethorn, mindlessly slaughtering all of the wildlife, and guess what? We're going to be doing a lot of that yet again. There's not like a classic WoW wildlife protection service, is there? Because if there is, yeah, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble. Now, one of the nice things about being a YouTuber, especially for you guys watching, is that I can turn long, drawn-out menial tasks that take hours in real time into short little segments that occur over the course of a few seconds. For example, I can say the phrase panthers, tigers, and raptors, oh my, and boom, just like that, hours of killing countless innocent animals have passed, and I'm able to return to the jungle encampment to turn in some of the quests. Oh, and I also completed a quest called Bad Medicine. Basically, there's this guy named Colonel Curzon that used to be a talented and noble soldier from Stormwind, but after leading an expedition into the Stranglethorn Vale, he lost his marbles and fell victim to some foul magic, becoming possessed by a powerful ogre mage named Myzoth. So yeah, now he's one of the bad guys. While many of his men stayed loyal to him, there was a small group of soldiers that band together and rebelled against him, hence why there is now a rebel camp in the northern part of Stranglethorn, which is where I picked up this quest. Apparently, he's got a bunch of healing support from his medicine men, and if we're ever going to take him down, we need to infiltrate the compound and steal the medical supplies so that we can use it to heal our own forces. So that's exactly what I do. After I'm done, I return to the rebel camp, hand it in, receive a follow-up quest from Sergeant Yoa, and of course, she has me going right back to the place I just came from for a follow-up quest because, well, this is classic WoW, and that's just how we do things around here. What the heck is he Curzon head shrinker. That sounds interesting. Anyways, where was I? Oh, that's right. Destroying the local ecosystem. At this point, I'm really close to reaching level 36, so I figure why not just top off real quick at this raptor spawn area. Unsurprisingly, a fellow adventurer named Hurricane takes notice of my incredible magical feats of power and wants in on a piece of the action. Of course, being the kind and generous soul that I am, I tell her to get lost and find another mage to mooch XP off of. No, just kidding. I understand that us mages can be a little bit selfish with our AoE power farming. There's not always enough mobs to go around, so we team up and I help her get all the raptors that she needs for her quest. Now, right before I hit 36, we end up parting ways, and most of you might think, nice, he's almost level 36, just kill one more grouping of the raptors and that'll be that. End the session on a high note, go get some sleep, bada bing, bada boom, easy, right? Well, not exactly. I decide to take a little look-see over this hill here, and what do you know? It's a band of blood scalp trolls. I should be able to take them out, right? Wrong. I miscalculated, as I so often do, and end up dying. At that point, I'm just annoyed and say, screw that, I'm going to bed. But that's okay, because let's be honest, who wants to level up to 36 off of some measly blood scalp trolls? Talk about lame. Everyone knows that there's only one mob type that you should ever level up with when you're about to hit level 36. The legendary Stone Mob Basilisk. Oh yeah, baby. 1 level down, 4 more to go. Real quick, if you're enjoying the content, be sure to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more future stuff. And as always, a huge shout out to my Patreons for supporting the channel and keeping it alive throughout these creative works. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. Seriously, these videos are not easy to make, and you guys really help keep me motivated during the long hours of writing, recording, and video creation. More information on how you can support the channel at the end of this video. So after reaching level 36, I waste no time paying a visit to our good friend Janaea. And it's a good thing I do, because I get some massive ability upgrades. An increased fireball. Let's go. Oh, baby. Sweet baby Jesus. Guys, this is amazing. Blizzard rank 3. I am so happy to see that. And not only that, but I get to pick back up with the mage class questline. This one is called Return to the Marsh. Apparently, there's a hermit named Tabitha in the Dustwallow Marsh that I'm supposed to go and visit. I'm not going to do that right now, but keep this in the back of your head because we'll return to it later. Right, next up, I head to the cathedral, replenish my supply of runes of teleportation, and run into this guy named Archbishop Benedictus. Holy crap, dude. This guy's on some steroids or something. He's huge. But yeah, I turned in a quest to him that I guess I completed at some point. Honestly, I don't even really remember what it was, and the reward is pretty much useless to me, so yeah. Oh well, now back to the question about how I'm going to afford my new mount. Well, for anyone that didn't see the previous episode, I happened upon a super lucky rare drop, a blue wand called the Starfaller. As much as I really want to try it out, the community told me that it would be more valuable for me to sell it rather than to use it. So after much deliberation and a few tears shed, I decided to put it up on the auction house for 24 gold and 50 silver. By far the most expensive item I've ever sold in World of Warcraft. I guess now we'll just wait to see if anyone wants to buy it. In the meantime, back to Stranglethorn we go. And actually, I didn't have to wait very long at all because someone buys it within a matter of minutes. I guess that means I probably undersold it, but you know what? I'm not trying to be greedy. A win is a win. And I'm now that much closer to being able to purchase my new horse friend. So I'm not complaining. On my way back to the jungle, I have the bright idea of trying to find a shortcut over the mountains, and well, this happened again. I thought, did they like put that in there just for fun? Like just a, guys? Gosh dang it, no. It just used my Hearthstone. Can I blink? Yeah, but like that's not gonna F in the chat, boys. I mean, what the heck? Oh, yeah, yes. Okay, Abe, you're a genius. Guys, we're good. Yeah, thankfully, I was able to just teleport out this time around, but still, I gotta learn to watch where I'm going. Now for level 37, I wish I could tell you there was some epic storyline or hilarious encounter, but truthfully, it was kind of just a string of miscellaneous quests and very random decisions on my part. I visit this troll camp, murder a bunch of them and cut off all of their ears, find the venture company base camp where I attempt to collect some of their personal belongings. They're not too happy about that. Decide to rank up my Frostbolt and switch to a full-on Frost Mage, and then travel back to the Dust Wallow Marsh. For what purpose, you might ask? Who the hell knows? No, but actually, I want to see, now that I've got my rank 3 Blizzard, if I'm able to power farm some of these Murlocs, since the last time I tried, it didn't go so well. Oh yes, it's absolutely glorious. Look at all those numbers. Of course, all heroes have their setbacks. Mine just happen to be a little more frequent than most. But I got some travel snacks from Nepsy, a bottle of nectar and cheese, so that puts a smile on my face and gives me just the boost that I need to continue on. So I head back out, kill a bunch of mudrock spike shells for a local chef, because apparently the forked tongues of some of the creatures are a delicacy in these parts. Sounds kind of disgusting to me. And I reach level 37. Huzzah! One step closer to our 4-legged companion. To celebrate this forgettable and not so impressive milestone, I decide to head back to one of my favorite spots, the Salty Sailor Tavern, and share my accomplishment with some of my new goblin friends. They tell me they couldn't care less and then proceed to make fun of me when I mention that I don't yet have enough gold to purchase my mount, because apparently they had that sort of cash flow by the time they were 7 years old. Right. Well, anyways, I turn in a few of the quests, chuckle at the fact that goblin fishing poles are actually sticks of dynamite, and receive some follow-up ones in return. Nothing super important. One is to help Krazik collect some bloodstone ore in order to repair a crockpot, and the other is to acquire 18 skull splitter troll tusks so Kabak here can continue with his fake tiger fang forgery selling business. Apparently, it's very difficult and expensive to kill wild tigers, so he's settled with just murdering some of the Stranglethorn natives instead. Of course, we threw out our moral compass a long time ago, so I agreed to it. And holy crap, I just got struck by lightning. Oh, it's just one of the world buffs. Increases movement speed by 10% and all stats by 15% for 2 hours. Dang, that's nice. I also pick up 2 more quests from this guy, Crank Fizzlebub. Love the name, by the way. First, he asks me to hunt down some basilisks and bring him back a bunch of singing crystal shards so that he can sell them for profit. And second, he wants me to acquire for him 12 samples of Zanzil's mixture, which is used to control other people's minds so that he can sell them for profit. I'm starting to pick up on a recurring theme around here. Alright, now that I have a log chock full of nearby quests, let's start knocking these out. First up, collecting the tumbled crystals from the Venture Company base camp. There must be a relatively low drop rate for these items because it takes me around 30 minutes to acquire just 8 of them. Next, I really want to find these crystal-eating basilisks. I'm kind of fascinated by that concept. The quest log says they're along the shores south of Zulkunda to the north, so let's head over there. Oh, they do look really cool. Very colorful. And oh wow, they actually have a bunch of crystals poking out of their skin. Ugh, another low drop rate quest item. This is taking forever. Well, you know what they say, when life gives you lemons, throw them back and demand for an ice cold glass of milk. No, trust me guys, everyone says that. It's a thing. But yeah, so instead of just standing around waiting for the basilisks to respond, there's a bunch of these saltwater crocolisks nearby that I decide to farm while I wait. And by the time I'm done collecting the singing crystal shards, I'm basically level 38. So I figure, why not just finish it off since we're already out here? There we go. Only 2 more levels to go. At this point, I'm starting to get really excited. Not too much longer before I get that mount. Alrighty then, let's head back to Booty Bay, turn in a couple of these quests, pick up another one from Fizzlebub. Of course, he's sending me back out to find him some more crystals. And finally, pay another visit to Janaea to see if she's got any good ability upgrades for me. Conjure Mana Jade, rank 4 Arcane Explosion, rank 3 Mana Shield, rank 5 Fire Blast, dang, and rank 7 Frostbolt. That's legit. Thanks, Janaea. Now, I know this is kind of crazy. I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't want to come off as bragging or being a show-off, but I recently entered into a senior citizen beauty contest and I got 2nd place. Of course, it would have been nice if I had won. I think we all know it was probably rigged or something like that, but hey, I still got 10 gold from it. So I just received that in the mail. And then the other surprise, I must have looted this blue drop called Sutarn's Ring at some point. I genuinely have no recollection of picking it up, probably because I've been farming stuff for hours at a time over the last few days, but anyways, it's actually worth quite a bit. So I put it up for 23 gold, along with a few other items, and fingers crossed, that should put me right around the 80 gold benchmark. With that out of the way, it's time to resume our adventures. Now, some of you might remember way back from my time in Westfall, there was this guy. He was a woodworker at the Sentinel Hill Inn, and he was just slaving away, swinging his hammer over and over and over. Sadly, it didn't seem like he was accomplishing much, but still, I was inspired by his heart, his passion, his determination. Well, I'm happy to say he's still here. He hasn't moved from his perch, and he continues to swing that hammer to this very day. What a legend. Okay, so this next quest is called Special Forces, and I picked it up earlier, but it wasn't really relevant until now. Remember Colonel Curzon in the rebel camp? Yeah, this is just a little follow-up quest from that. Before, I had to kill the medicine men. Now, I'm targeting some of Curzon's highly trained forces. Yeah, the weird head shrinker guys. So this should be interesting. It doesn't prove too difficult of a task, especially since I team up with this level 41 night elf named Ruby Ray. And then she asks if I want to become a member of her OnlyFans. So I tell her, no thanks, I'm not looking for a guild at the moment. To which she seems kind of confused. But anyways, yeah, we kill a bunch of these commandos and head shrinkers, and I end up dying because I went in thinking Ruby had my back, but she must have been busy or something. Probably sending messages to her OnlyFans guildies. So I come back, we finish the quest, and then try to take on Colonel Curzon. Of course, this is totally pointless because I don't even have the quest to kill him yet, but hey, at least this time as I die, I'm able to give a theatrical performance. Ruby is pretty broken up over it, so we try once again, and don't worry guys, this time around, yeah, I definitely die again. You frickin' crit me for 207, just insane. So yeah, that was that. I had to log off and I never heard from Ruby again. But hey, my Sutarn ring sold. Wait, what the crap? Auction house cut, 1 gold and 15 silver? That's highway robbery. What kind of tax laws are these? And yeah, that was it. Nothing else sold, but we're pretty much there. And I still have 2 levels to go before I need the full 80, so I should be good. The next day, I head back to the cave looking for some vengeance, and this is actually kind of fun. A guy named Shim Sneakin actually recognizes me in the game. We decide to team up, and thanks to him, I turn in the Special Forces quest so that I can pick up the next one and actually get credit for finally killing Colonel Curzon. We're honestly having some great conversation, but then my phone rings and unfortunately, my wife needs me for something. I honestly can't remember what it was, but family comes first. I'm sure a lot of you can probably relate. Thankfully, when I hop back on later, I'm able to group up with not just 1, but 2 new friends, War Imp and Racelock. And at this point, I'm hoping this is one of those 3rd times a charm moments because honestly, I just want to get this thing over with. The good news is we make our way to the back of the cave and take out Colonel Curzon, no problem. So I do what I do best, chop off his head and throw it in my pack. The bad news is that on our way out, I get a little too cocky and end up getting myself and one of my teammates killed, which leads to me running naked through the jungle. It's actually kind of nice though. The breeze feels good and yeah, maybe I should do this more often. So I turn in the Colonel Curzon quest, and after all of that excitement, I think it's time to take a breather, settle down a bit, and work on some professions. As most of you know, I chose tailoring as my primary profession, and that's really the only one that I've spent any time on. My biggest holdup has been collecting enough silk, but now that I have some, I get to work and I'm able to progress to 172. Alas, as refreshing as this has been, all good things must come to an end. Back to the jungle we go. My gosh, the amount of times I've had to run from Westfall to Stranglethorn, I swear. Okay, I actually found an interesting quest which I'm pretty excited about, because I feel like it's been a minute. So let's take a closer look at it. It's called Curzon's Mystery. Colonel Curzon was once a great noble man. I must find what caused his fall into depravity. He may be under the sway of troll magic. To confirm this, I must study some of their legends. There are 4 tablets hidden within the troll ruins of Stranglethorn. I must see what is written on these tablets, transcribe their markings, and bring the transcriptions back to me. The first tablet is in the Balal ruins, the second is in the Vile Reef, and the 3rd and 4th are in the ruins of Zulkunda. Yes, we got ourselves a little scavenger hunt. Let's go find these tablets. At At first, I was expecting some sort of small, discrete stone tablets that were going to be impossible to find, but they were actually these giant, massive tablets standing up out of the ground, so that made it a little bit easier. The first troll legend in the Balal ruins I find quite easily. The second in the Vile Reef was more difficult, so I get some help from a friendly druid named Big Teddy. And for the third and fourth legends in Zulkunda, I team up with a warrior named Fade Striker because there are a ton of troll mobs in the area, some of them being hunters and casters, so yeah, not feeling too confident walking into this one alone. After some time, we're both feeling lost, neither of us know where the tablets are, and some of these fights are getting a little too close for comfort. So I do what I must. I send up a Hail Mary and ask the classic WoW gods for a little favor. To my delight, they're feeling generous today and send us a level 60 she-elf goddess and her pet pig named Bjorn to guide the way. Field Marshal Purplefish is her name. She wastes no time striking down her foes with ferocity and precision, only needing a couple of arrows for every troll. Fade Striker and I stand in awe. It's a beautiful sight, and also slightly terrifying. So after all the trolls are vanquished, I collect the third tablet, we make our way to a different area, and I find the fourth and final tablet. Thank you, Purplefish, for all of your help. You're an absolute legend. When I go to turn in the quest to Brother Nimitz, he tells me that he's going to study the tablets to see if there's some link between the trolls and the evil that has possessed Colonel Curzon. Nah, there's nothing really helpful in those tablets. I know this because I already read through them all. Just trust me when I tell you guys, none of it really made any sense. And this next quest is kind of hilarious. Nimitz wants me to bring back for him some skull splitter fetishes. Why, you may ask? I have no idea. He just says, while you're waiting, go and get these for me. Nice, I mean, yeah, I guess I'll do it. On my way there, I end up having a very strange but also heartfelt encounter. A gnome lieutenant named Tuan tells me that he'll be going on a long journey far away. He doesn't know when or if he'll be back, so unfortunately, he won't be able to bring his beloved tabby cat named Stifler along for the trip. He came across my pet sitter ad in Stormwind that I put out months ago back when I was looking for some part-time side hustles, and he thought it sounded like a good fit. So, of course, I agree to watch over Stifler. Truthfully, I'll be glad to have some company. Tuan's only request is that if he doesn't return, to not let Stifler remarry. Okay, I'm a little bit confused by how that works, but alright, after saying his goodbyes and shedding a few tears just like that, Tuan is gone. I wonder if we'll ever get to see him again. But okay, where was I? Oh, that's right, I was on my way to go kill some skull splitter trolls. So yeah, I start cutting down a bunch of these trolls, and actually I still have the quest to collect these tusks for that goblin merchant in Booty Bay, so that's what we'll start out with. And would you look at that, level 39. Only one more level, guys. We're nearly there. I can almost feel the breeze flowing through my balding head of hair as I ride around on my gallant stallion. Now it's time to make the final push. So I finish collecting the tusks and fetishes, head back to the rebel camp, turn in the quest, and then this next interaction was just too funny. I had to include it in the video. I find myself playing a game of Hearthstone Chicken with this guy named Oki. I have no idea how or why it started, but it was absolutely legendary. Basically, we both just kept pretending that we were going to Hearthstone at the same time, but at the last second would cancel to see if the other guy went through with it. And I could tell Oki was getting a kick out of it as well. It went on for a few minutes until finally we both agreed to actually go through with it. Up next, I decide to finish killing some of these Shadow Mob Panthers while also trying to collect some of these singing blue crystals from the goblins outside of the nearby mine. Of course, they're 2 levels higher than me, so you can imagine how well my plan turned out. After dying a couple more times, I said, screw this, the jungle is overrated, I'm not wasting any more time with that. Let's head back to the place where dreams go to die. And of course, I have to stand next to these two while waiting for the ship. Just look at them all smug and happy, riding around in their mounts like a bunch of hotshots. No, I'm just kidding. They were actually a couple of very nice ladies. But anyways, here we are, the Dust Wallow Marsh. Remember that mage questline I received from Janaea a little while back? Well, I'm actually looking for a woman named Tabitha. She's supposed to be able to help me obtain my mage's wand. And it's been a minute, so I could definitely use a little upgrade. The quest log says she's west of Theramore, and I'll be honest, it takes me forever to find her. I end up running around the entire zone, dying, and then after making my way back over here, finally finding her in this small cottage. It wasn't a total waste though, because I actually find a really nice farming spot nearby that I'm about to show you guys. Wait, what about Tabitha, you ask? Well, my friends, that's a story for another time. One that deserves a little more attention than what we have for this video. I promise you though, it'll be worth the wait. So anyways, yeah, I call upon my mage ancestors, dig deep into my roots, and I do what all of us MMORPG players do best. I grind. It really doesn't take me too long, probably about an hour or so, and it was actually really enjoyable because I had one of my favorite TV shows of all time playing on my second monitor, Community. Shameless plug, this in my opinion is one of the greatest comedy sitcoms of all time. The character development, the writing, the creativity, all of it. It's just so good. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. I promise you it's 100% worth it. All right. There we go, level 40. I'll be honest, it's not the most exciting way to reach level 40. Probably would have been cooler to reach it during some sort of dungeon or epic questline, but here we are. Regardless, I am super excited. Level 40, guys. I've got my 80 gold. I am now finally able to unlock my first ever mount in WoW Classic. Like, this is huge. Okay, so I teleport back to Stormwind and wait a second. Where do I even get my mount? Where might one find a noble steed for purchase? Eastvale Logging Camp. Oh, okay, nice. I know where that is. Let's head over there. Of course, I have to pay a visit to my old friend Remy 2 times in Goldshire. There's just something about this place that gives me all those warm, fuzzy feelings inside. It's kind of strange, because like, even though I didn't play the game back when it first came out, I've already developed my own sense of nostalgia for the human starting zone, which is pretty cool. And I'll be honest, I know I've still got a lot to learn and so much more of the world to explore, but I already miss the days of experiencing everything for the first time. Running around Northshire Abbey, killing kobolds, hearing the iconic soundtrack of Elwyn Forest playing on repeat, dying over and over to the Defias gang, just having no idea what I was doing. Okay, well, some things haven't changed, I guess. But yeah, anyways, I guess what I'm saying is you only get one opportunity to experience a game for the very first time. And with Classic WoW, it doesn't matter if it was 2004 or 2024. Either way, it has a way of leaving a mark and claiming a special place in your heart. And speaking of a special place in your heart, I'm not sure if there's going to be much of anything more memorable than my first ever mount. As I approach the Eastvale Logging Camp, giddy with excitement, I take a look around and then I see him. A majestic, brown and white spotted horse with legs that appear to be wearing white fuzzy socks. As I approach, I notice that unlike some of the other horses nestled away in the comfort of the stable, this one is standing near the fence, looking outward at the open forest, almost as if he's longing for freedom, for adventure, to see what awaits him beyond the confinement of these wooden logs. Then he looks at me, and within those eyes, I see myself. Somehow, I recognize him. I understand him. It's difficult to explain, but I know that this horse was made for me, and I for him. There was no real choice to be made. It had already been made for me. Now, there's only one thing left to do. So, I introduce myself. Hello, friend. I think I'll call you Nelson. You and I, we're going to have some epic adventures together. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, a huge shout out to my patrons for supporting the channel and helping to keep it alive. I greatly appreciate your continued generosity. If you'd like to become a part of the Patreon family, be sure to click on the link listed in the description below. You can support the channel for as little as $3 a month. Any and all contributions are much appreciated. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.